Hey artists, we're gonna make these beautiful warm colored leaves with cool colored windy backgrounds. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to make your own. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is dip my brush gently into the Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna brush it over the top half of my paper. I don't want to do the whole paper because it will dry too quickly, so we will do one half at a time. Okay, I've got the Mod Podge on the top half. I'm just gonna set it here and grab my tissue papers, and they'll stick right to the Mod Podge. Now, I've had some people who are leaving some spaces like this, and if that is something that you're noticing, then you just go back and fill in the space by adding some tissue over the top. We are going to cover this whole top half with different warm color tissue papers. So I'm just kind of going through and grabbing my papers one at a time to make sure I don't get them all bunched up. And I'm just setting them onto the Mod Podge, and they should stick really nicely. I'm not worried about any gaps on the edge because we'll be drawing our big leaf here in the center. But I do want to make sure that I don't leave a bunch of gaps in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to, get ready to put my Mod Podge on the bottom half of my page. Okay, now it's nicely covered, and we're going to take our Mod Podge again, and we're going to carefully put a layer over all of the top. Now, they might start trying to pull up like that, and you just have to brush it the other way. We are just carefully brushing over all of the tissue paper. Basically, just make sure all of it gets a little bit wet with Mod Podge. So we're just kind of going here. Up, and see it started coming up, so I can brush the other way to kind of keep it down. All right, and then at the top half as well. Gonna go this way and that way. And we're just making sure that it's all covered with the Mod Podge. Then we're gonna set this on the drying rack and let it dry. Okay, while that is drying, we are gonna get a black piece of paper. And in the center, we're going to glue a piece of cool colored paper. So we just made this with our warm colors, and we're letting this dry. And now I've got a stack of cool colors, blue, green, and purple to choose from. So I've got some different blues, some different greens, some different purples. I think maybe I'll choose this color. Okay, so you choose a cool color, and you're going to take your glue stick, and you are going to put the glue along the edge. And I'm not just doing it once because that's not quite enough. I'm going back and forth like 2-3 times just to make sure that it's thick enough. And then I'm going to add kind of a swirly line in the middle to make sure it stays down. Turning it over. I'm just going to try to center it about like that. Beautiful. So whatever color you chose, you're pushing it down into the middle of your black paper. Now it's time to make some cool swirling lines. So my cool colors are like my blues, greens, and purples. So I got a blue chalk, a green chalk, and a purple chalk. Now here's where we're going to make it fun. Instead of just drawing with plain chalk, we're going to dip our chalk, just the end, into the paint to change the way it looks as we put it on here. So starting with my blue chalk, maybe I'll dip into the white. I'm not putting a ton on, it's just a little bit. And so when I push down and I make my swirly line, there's a little bit of paint that goes with it and kind of changes the look. So I just re-dip my chalk into the paint each time. And I'm just adding some swirly lines. And, oh, you know what? I accidentally dipped it in the blue. Let's see what that looks like. Very cool. So these swirly lines go onto the cool colored paper and right off the cool colored paper. Now, I'm not gonna put this back with the other chalk. I'm gonna set it to the side because you're gonna need to give those back to me so I can wipe them off. Now I've got the green, I'm gonna dip it in the white and add some lines of green. And you can go right on top of your other colors. We're just making like the swirling wind. It's a windy day and there's little swirls of wind in the background. Maybe up there. Okay. I'm gonna try the purple in the blue and see what that looks like. Oh, cool. Okay, once you are satisfied with making lots of swirly lines, then it's time for us to go back to our warm color paper and turn that into a beautiful leaf. Okay, I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I want to make sure I have lots of cool swirls. Okay, I will pick those up in a cup and wipe them off. We're gonna set this to the side to dry. Look at that beautiful swirling wind. Okay, we're gonna get our leaf paper and we're gonna flip it over to the back. And from the top to the bottom, we're gonna draw a straight line that goes right down the middle. So just take your marker and draw that straight line that goes right down the middle. Now we are going to make just a little space, kind of leaving a little space there. We're gonna make a big V shape. Goes down and back up. I'm gonna go down a little space and put another V shape. Perfect. Once you have this, we're going to make almost like a little hat for each line. And it can't be teeny tiny. We want it to be like a big C shape. Another big C shape. Or like an upside down U. And at the top. So we put like a little hat on each one, a big C or upside down U on each one. Now we're going to put a little connecting line, so I kind of go down and up, down and up, curve and up. This one is going to go in deeper, deeper and up. And then we're going to bring our leaf down here, coming down and down. And I'm just going to put like a little rectangle around the bottom. And now I am ready to carefully cut out my leaf. So let me get some scissors and I'll get started. Okay, with my scissors, I'm going to very carefully cut along my black line. We didn't make a little leaf, we used almost all of that really cool paper we made. So I am just very carefully cutting all the way around. Now this part might be a little harder here, so I might just cut around like this. And then I can turn it and go back in to get that little curve. This is not going to be fast cutting. We're going nice and slow to make sure we get every turn of our leaf. Oh, come on, little leaf. There we go. Turning my scissors and curving my scissors. Okay. I'm gonna finish cutting out my leaf. Okay, it's all cut out, and when I turn it over, oh my goodness, there is our beautiful leaf. We are going to want to go ahead and put that line right back down the middle to show the leaf line. And we're going to carefully put that V shape going down and up, down and up. Beautiful. So that just kind of shows that part of the leaf line in our beautiful fall leaf. And now the last step is taking that beautiful fall leaf and adding it to our swirling windy day we created with our chalk and our paint. I don't think a glue stick is gonna be quite strong enough, so we're gonna get the white glue for this. All right, I've got the white glue. I'm gonna turn this over to the back, and I'm gonna carefully put like a skinny little line all the way around the edge of my leaf, but not too close to the edge because I don't want it to squish out, and maybe one line in the middle. Now, when you're positioning your leaf, you can decide if you want it to be straight up and down, or if you want it to look more like it's falling through the air. So you can kind of see if you like it this way or this way. I kind of like it like this. And I'm just gonna carefully tap and set my leaf onto that swirling background, and wow, we have our warm colored fall leaf on our swirling cool colored windy background. I can't wait to see the fall leaves that you create.